Where does space begin? It's a question that might seem straightforward, yet it unravels into a tapestry of scientific, technical, and somewhat nationalistic threads when pulled. Imagine hovering above Earth, climbing higher and higher. At what point do you leave our planet's atmosphere and enter the void of outer space? The answer varies depending on which organization's definition you subscribe to. Take the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, or FAI, the international body that standardizes the rules of air sports and certifies world aviation records. They place the boundary of space at 100 kilometers above sea level. This boundary is famously known as the Kármán line. Named after Theodor von Kármán, a Hungarian-American engineer and physicist, the line marks the altitude where the atmosphere becomes too thin to support aeronautical flight. The aircraft would require orbital velocities to sustain flight, a realm where aerodynamics turn into astronautics. Now, contrast this with the stance of the United States Air Force. According to their criteria, space begins at 50 miles above Earth. This delineation isn't just a trivial difference in measurements, it has significant implications. By this definition, pilots who exceed this altitude are recognized as astronauts, a title that comes with honor and historical significance. The distinction between these two definitions has more than just academic implications. Consider the 1960s, when the boundary of space was not just a topic of debate but also a practical concern. During this era, the experimental X-15 aircraft, a rocket-powered plane, soared above 50 miles but did not consistently cross the 100-kilometer mark set by the FAI. According to the United States, the pilots of these missions were astronauts. Yet by international standards, some had not technically reached space. This discrepancy led to a peculiar situation for NASA, caught between national recognition and international standards. For decades, the status of these pilots as astronauts hung in balance. It was not until 2005 that NASA decided to award astronaut wings to these pilots, aligning with the Air Force's definition and acknowledging their journeys beyond the 50-mile mark. In summary, where space begins is not just a question of geography but also one of perspective. Whether at 50 miles or 100 kilometers, the boundary of space holds significant implications for how achievements in space travel are recognized and celebrated. As we continue to explore and push the boundaries of human capability, these definitions remind us of the complex interplay between science, exploration, and international cooperation.